we're not trying to create the greatest transportation system in the world. That's actually not our objective. This is the greatest region. We're trying to make sure we have the best transportation system for this region. That's what we're focused on. So we're trying to continue to make sure that's happening. That requires ongoing business support, ongoing focus, ongoing partnership with elected officials.
Welcome back to In Good Company with the Greater Raleigh Chamber. Today, we are diving into one of the most influential yet often behind-the-scene forces shaping how the region moves. And I mean quite literally. Y'all, we are talking about the Regional Transportation Alliance. Now, for more than 20 years, RTA, which is a program of the Greater Raleigh Chamber, has served the voice of the regional business community on transportation. From major highway improvements to innovative solutions, RTA has played a pivotal role in keeping the triangle connected, competitive, and prepared for the future. Now, I am joined by none other than Joe Milazzo. He is the executive director of the Regional Transportation Alliance. Y'all, he's been here for 20 years. To talk about the Alliance's history, the companies and the organizations that power it, and the projects, past, present, and future, that continue to shape our region's growth. Joe, welcome to the podcast. How are you today?
Doing great. Great to be here.
I know. I'm super pumped. So for anyone who's listening today, what is Regional Transportation Alliance, RTA for short, and how did it first get started?
Sure. Well, RTA has been around, as you said, over 20 years. We are the voice of the regional business community on transportation issues. And the reason why we were founded is you look at the market and the success of the market. These things don't happen by accident. We knew as a region we needed to make sure the mobility processes are in place, the projects that we needed. But the business community organized this group because we need it for commerce, we need it for success and prosperity.
You know what, it's so interesting. And I think all of the listeners who are listening to the podcast now, they're seeing the pieces connect from all of our episodes. If they go back to the first episode that I had with Adrienne Cole, she really introduced the concept of, hey, if we're going to bring all these big businesses to the region, what do we do about transportation? And I know for me, that was a light bulb moment going off. It's like, wow, we really do have to plan and align all of that, gosh, years in advance. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about exactly what your role entails and how you serve the region.
Sure. I'll talk about a few things with that. So again, when you think about transportation projects, we see things like 540. We're excited that that's here. We know about the transit projects are coming in, but they don't just magically happen. They don't just come by accident. We've got great planners that are working on those things, but the business community has a really important role to play because these projects take a really long time. They take a long time, and when we think about a project we can't say, hey, I'm sitting in traffic. What do we do about it? By the time that happens,
it's too late.
It's way too late. It's way too late to do something about it. So if you've got planners that are working here that are saying, this is going to be an issue 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years. That's actually not our job as a business organization, but it is our job to say, how can we support those projects? How can we support those priorities? And how can we support our partners to make sure these things get done while also offering our own perspective on things too?
Oh my gosh. Now, as we've mentioned, the RTA is powered by the Greater Raleigh Chamber and its business members. Can you explain how does the Chamber fit into the structure and the leadership of RTA and why it's so important for the business community through the Chamber to drive regional transportation solutions?
Happy to do it. So again, we are a program of the Chamber, as you said. I'm a Raleigh Chamber employee. My colleague Jacob is as well. And again, we've been a program of the Chamber since the inception of it. It's over 20 years long. We were actually founded by the Raleigh, Durham, Cary, and Chapel Hill Carborough Chambers.
Oh, wow.
And so that was even back over 20 years ago. Now RTA represents over 25 chambers of commerce in 13 counties in central and nearest North Carolina. So it's gotten larger for that. But we've always been a program of the Chamber, which is as it should be, because we rely on the Chamber for support, for a lot of the back-end business processes, and just to make sure, because the Chamber is the largest chamber in the state, in fact, in terms of staff.
That is huge. I had no idea. We've already mentioned that RTA has been around for 2 decades. How has the mission or the focus really evolved as RTA has grown and the Triangle has grown?
Yeah, it definitely has evolved. We've evolved with it. We initially were focused on just the road pieces of it and some of the transit elements, but even the transit program has changed. When we first started, we weren't really talking about BRT, which is bus rapid transit, or buses resembling trains. So that's a new thing. And now we're going from not really talking about it to about to launch the first one here, I guess this winter. It's now now under construction. And then you have 10 more BRTs coming across the metropolitan area. So that's something that's very new, certainly in the last 10 or so years. Another piece is the airport. When we first started, we really weren't focused on RDU airport. Now the airport's one of our biggest priority areas because we have to have a successful RDU airport.
Oh my gosh, yes, we do. And it's just incredible. I had no idea how large it was and all of the work that this entails. So this is so fascinating to me. I would love to dive into your memberships. Specifically, what kinds of companies and organizations really make up RTA, and how do these business leaders contribute to the Alliance's priorities and direction?
Sure. So RTA is focused on a number of key things, but those things are important to the business community broadly. And the business community, of course, itself was broad in Raleigh and the Triangle. So you've got life science companies, you've got technology companies, universities, different types of service providers like law firms, all different types of companies who have an interest in transportation, even if they don't directly a transportation company, because their people need to get to and from work, their customers, suppliers, and they want the quality of life to be successful. So all of us at some level are either a transportation company directly, or at least we're interested in making sure transportation is successful. And in terms of those companies, how they involve, well, certainly they join the organization, and then their executives are on our leadership team. They contribute ideas, they contribute focus, they contribute their time and expertise, and that makes the organization better and ultimately the region better.
Now, I know that RTA has been involved in some incredible transformative initiatives. I want to know from you, what have been some of the highlights, some of the past projects that you are most proud of?
Well, there'd be several. One would be 540, of course.
Yes, 540.
I mean, it's a very important, critical project, and we can think of other markets that did not complete their beltways, that did not complete their freeways, but we have at the forefront of that in concert with our partners, Turnpike Authority, NCDOT, metropolitan planning organizations, and others. But that project, the last piece, is under construction from southeastern Raleigh back up towards Knightdale and Wendell. When we're done, that will be a 70-mile long, 70-mile-an-hour freeway encircling essentially all of Wake counties. That's a really important project for our future. That's one of those we had to get right, and we've gotten it right. So we're really excited about that. Another major priority for us, one we're very proud of, but also we're still on the front end of it, is regional transit, specifically BRT. Bus rapid transit, or in the business community, we call it buses resembling trains. And what it's going to do for us is really connect the entire region, not just here in Raleigh, but all of Wake County, Durham County, Orange County, Chatham County, Johnston County, and beyond. Different segments. They're going to use streets, they're going to use arterial roadways, and even the freeway system like I-40 to link the whole region together. And the first project, of course, is under construction right now, New Bern Avenue in here in Raleigh, but there'll be other projects across the market.
Yes, I've driven by that. I've seen it. My husband was the one to actually point it out to me, and I was like, that is so freaking cool that we're going to have this here.
And it's going to be even better because you're going to have so many different corridors. They're going to link, they're going to interconnect. And a key word when people think about BRT or transit, the word I want people to think about is network, because it's one thing to say, well, I'm not on that one corridor, but we're all building an important network. It's a network of connections, which really makes it a network of opportunity for people.
Great. Okay. What are some of the current initiatives that are top of mind right now for RTA?
Sure. Well, one we just mentioned, of course, is
BRT.
the BRT. We're looking to get what's called an exchange station right on top of Interstate 40. That would be the way we would link to the airport. People always talk about, how do I get transit to the airport? This would allow that to happen. There was a study managed by NCDOT. We helped fund it. It was called the FAST study that talked about that. So that's one. Speaking of the airport, infrastructure at the airport. We've got to make sure that the runway is completed, taxiway pieces are done, terminal expansion, roadway expansion, all those key projects, because the market is growing, the airport's growing, and we need the airport to grow right along with it. So that's a second piece.
It's such a good airport, too. Like, that is always one of the things when I talk to people about what do I love about living in this area. I'm like, y'all, we have an international airport right here that is super easy to get to, super easy to park, get in and out. So
you're exactly right. It's
two snaps.
It's our hometown international airport. It is fantastic, and yet we have to keep making those investments. We appreciate the leadership of the Raleigh-Durham Airport Authority, their professional staff, and their board. We're working to continue to support those efforts.
Yes, future-proofing.
That's what we have to do for all these things. That's right. And other priorities, again, Capitol Boulevard. That's always a character-building experience for a lot of us around here as we travel through things. That the NCDOT has a proposal to make that into a freeway, 6 lanes, 3 lanes each way, some places even more than that. Again, 70-mile-an-hour design, a great roadway. Imagine being able to go from 540 to Franklin County in about 10 minutes as opposed to almost the hour it can take you now. That's their proposal. We've been supporting that. We're going to continue to do that. We're trying to find a way to accelerate that. So that's another very important project for us.
Yeah, that's incredible. Okay, so as we continue to grow, Let's talk about the challenges, because we talked about character building, and I know that there's going to be some of this, but what are some of the transportation challenges or opportunities that you see on the horizon?
Sure. Well, it is a great place to live, and it's comparatively to other markets, it's easier to get around. It really is. People can take that for granted, even subconsciously. We don't think about it. We have to make sure that we maintain that consensus that things are great here in the Triangle, not perfectly everywhere. Of course, there are quarters like Capital that certainly need to get better, but broadly, they're very good. We need to continue to make those investments and do it purposefully and intentionally. And one thing I want to mention is we're not trying to create the greatest transportation system in the world. That's actually not our objective. This is the greatest region. We're trying to make sure we have the best transportation system for this region. That's what we're focused on. So we're trying to continue to make sure that's happening. That requires ongoing business support, ongoing focus, ongoing partnership with elected officials.
Yeah. And we talked very early on about how this is very much a behind the scenes thing, right? And so I'm intrigued because it's something we all deal with if we're driving and we're commuting and we're going to the grocery stores. What is something that you would love all of our listeners to know about RTA and how you operate and how you really bring the value to the region?
I would actually say maybe a little bit differently about it. Sometimes we're behind the scenes. Sometimes we're leading an initiative, publicly. But most importantly is we want to make sure the region continues to come together, because if we come together well, we can make those connections. Because as you heard in some of the prior podcasts you've done here, the Chamber is a catalyst for different initiatives. RTA is simply a part of that. We're a catalyst for these projects, making sure these initiatives get done. So let them know that the business community is working together. We're focused on it. We want the market to be successful.
I love that. And you've been here for 20 years, so you have seen it all. What are you most excited about for the future? We've got the bus line, the RTAs, RTBs.
BRT.
BRTs. We've got the BRTs. We've got so many things. What is your personal fave?
In terms of what I'm excited for the future,
Yes.
you mean? Our best days are ahead of us.
Oh, that's such a great mantra.
I mean, it's simply this: as good as we have been, and having the ability, having these three major universities right nearby, the largest research park in North America, and the great people here and the great opportunity, our best days are ahead of us as long as we continue to be purposeful and intentional about what we do.
Yes. And what are you most excited about with your partnership with the Chamber and as that continues to grow and evolve?
Well, there's several things. Again, the Chamber broadly is a catalyst on a number of issues, not just transportation, whether it's education, healthcare, and just making sure the region is broadly successful prosperity. So just continuing to be a part of that.
Yes. And as we grow, we're going to need this more and more and more. So
let's get moving.
Oh my gosh. So many puns and things we could do with this. So as we wrap up, Joe, how can businesses and residents get involved or stay connected to the work that RTA does?
Sure. Well, there's a couple things you can do. One is, of course, if somebody wanted to join or their company wanted to join RTA, of course, we'd love to have them. That would be great. Also, since we're representing the Chamber and all the chambers around the extended market on these issues, just pay attention to what RTA is doing and the Chamber broadly is doing. I always tell people, you don't have to join a chamber to join RTA, but we want you to do that. Whether it's the Raleigh Chamber, if you're here in Raleigh or Wake County, or your local chamber, whatever it is, join that chamber, be involved with that. And if your company wants to invest in this, we're happy to have you too.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. Joe, thank you so much for the insight and for all you've done for the past 20 years. I mean, I've only been here for 15, but I can tell you I have seen the growth and it's incredible. So thank you for all that you are doing to keep us moving forward. Quite literally, it's clear that transportation isn't just infrastructure, but it's really economic development. It's quality of life. It's our competitive edge as a region.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
It's connections for all of us.
Absolutely. To learn more about RTA, its projects, and how your company can get involved, visit letsgetmoving.org or head to raleighchamber.org for more on our transportation and mobility initiatives.
Welcome to this episode's Mimi's Member Moment, where we get to talk with one of our members of the Chamber who are making a huge impact in the Chamber and in our region. I'm Mimi Miller, Membership Engagement Manager at the Greater Raleigh Chamber. Today I'm joined by Travis Brisbon, founder and CEO of Brisbon Transportation Group. Travis is not only growing an impactful business here in our region, he's also deeply engaged with the Chamber as a member of our board of directors and vice chair of member services and small business. Travis, thanks so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And to start, just tell us a little bit about Brisbon Transportation Group, how the company got started, and the role it plays in serving our region today.
Yeah, absolutely. So Brisbon Transportation Group is a portfolio of transportation companies. So the verticals that we serve are chauffeured ground transportation, which is black car executive transportation. We also have a non-emergency medical transportation company called Wisdom Care Transportation, which serves Medicaid recipients, private individuals who need to get to medical appointments. And we also have a charter and tour bus company, Triangle Bus Charters, which is a company that does group tours and group travel here in the region and beyond. And then we have a logistics company called Agility Transportation, which is expedited freight.
Yeah.
And lastly, we have an automotive repair business called Brisbon Automotive. So that all rolls up to Brisbon Transportation Group.
I see why it's group, because there's so many things that y'all do. That's amazing.
So many things. I don't think people know in the portfolio the verticals that we serve. So I think it was just important to really communicate.
Absolutely, absolutely. And how did you pick like what things your group would focus on? Because there's, so many. It feels like you've covered it all, really. But how did it get started that way?
So when I started, Triangle Corporate Coach was the first business, which is the black car entity. There was a lot of seasonality. And so during the summer, right, executive travel slowed down because executives are traveling vacation.
Right.
During the holidays, it slows down. And then the first 2 months of the year, corporate travel is slow, but then it picks up. And so I was intrigued in finding a way to remove the seasonality from the business.
Yeah.
So I started to find verticals that could kind of balance that out. So that's what made me get into the other lines of business of charter and tours, expedited freight, NEMT, and then the automotive repair.
Yeah. So you saw kind of, I have a great business plan. How can I make it impactful year round, basically?
Absolutely.
That's so cool. Let's talk about the Chamber for a little bit. You've been very involved with the Greater Raleigh Chamber. How did you first get connected, and what made you want to lean in beyond just membership?
Yes, so coming out of COVID, it was very challenging for all transportation segments, right? The world shut down, right? And so coming out of COVID, I was just trying to discover ways of how to kind of re-engage with the business community. And I received an email from Adrian. I think it's one of her series of emails that would come out. Yeah. And I saw that it was actually her email address that I could email back into. And I said, hey, if there's anything that I can do to serve in the chamber, I will be interested in it. And join the chamber. I think it was probably 6 or 7 months later, I heard from her and said, hey, I think that, I would like to discuss with you about this board opportunity. And the rest is history,
right? Absolutely.
And so it's been really fun. And I think the chamber has so much to offer small businesses. And let's face it, small businesses are the core and the backbone of many communities, right? And I think the more that the chamber is engaging the small business community, the better off and the more successful our small businesses are going to be. So I would encourage any small business that, that hasn't engaged the chamber, right? And they're looking for an opportunity to engage, to serve, to learn of new ways to grow their businesses and find resources. The Raleigh Chamber is a great resource for those individuals and those small businesses.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think that since our membership is almost 80% small businesses, we don't just serve the ones that are employing 1,000 people, right? We're serving the ones who are solopreneurs or have a small crew that really make their work happen. Yeah. And we love the engagement we get back from those small businesses like yours.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you've been involved with the Chamber for about 5 years now. And this year you're serving on the Chamber's board of directors and as vice chair of member services and small business, my department. So I'm very thankful for you. Why was it important for you to take on a leadership role within the Chamber?
I see it as a way of giving back. And I also see it as an opportunity to enhance the member experience where I can add value. Absolutely. Right. And so the member experience is so important to me, not only for retention purposes, but I want our small business members and I want our members who we engage with to feel the impact that the chamber has on their businesses and also their lives. Right. And so, when you think about the various departments in the chamber, I think the small business and membership team is the team that's really going to drive impact in 2026 and beyond.
Yes, we're focused on impact. We're excited about all of the small business initiatives that we have coming up, and of course, more to come about that. But we just appreciate your support so much, and we really do want the small businesses in our community to feel that the Chamber is a resource for them. From your perspective as a business owner, how has the Chamber helped support your growth, whether through relationships, resources, or opportunities you might not have had otherwise?
Yeah, I think the relationships are probably the most important, right? And I'm not a member of the Chamber, right? To find ways to grow like revenue, right? It's not the driver for me, right? It's really the collaboration and the tools and resources that the Chamber offer. And then you take those two tools and resources and that collaboration, those relationships, and you find ways to innovate and to grow your businesses, right? And so that's what's been most valuable to me. And also just the connections, from the business after hours to all of the events that we offer, right, and programs that we offer. Getting engaged in those events and participating has been valuable, right? Because it's a learning experience overall. As a small business owner.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's my favorite part of my job is getting to be in the room of the events and seeing people just connect and either have brain blasts of, oh, I didn't know that existed, and now I know the person behind it, to the opportunities to collaborate and see a problem or issue in the area, and the small businesses and members are working together to fix that. So I absolutely agree.
And the talent, right? And the talent that we have within the Chamber, right? Like anyone who has a business problem, right? They can likely come to the Chamber and seek those resources, and we can help them figure that out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I really appreciate you being here today and talking to us about what the Chamber has meant to you and what Brisbon Transportation Group has done for the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you so much. Yeah. And thank you to our listeners for spending time with us on another Mimi's Member Moments. I look forward to connecting with you soon at a Chamber event.
Thanks for listening to In Good Company with the Greater Raleigh Chamber. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. If you enjoyed today's show, please leave us a 5-star review and share it with your network. Keep tuning in for more insights on the Chamber's programs, events, and members, and visit RaleighChamber.org for info and to register for the Chamber's upcoming events.